Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Barker with Bonnie Bay Crochet, and welcome to Friday Fun Live, where we just chat, catch up on some things, and anyway, see how everybody's doing. I must first start with an apology and hope you'll accept this. I promised you a song for this week. Honestly, being on the road, I have been in my house just a little over 24 hours. I really haven't had time to prepare. And I'll have a reading from the broadcast, a reading that I'm going to read during the broadcast that will just kind of make light of what the week has been like in caring for family and so forth. It's been a wonderful time, no doubt, but I'm exhausted. I'm tired. I'm trying to find my bearings. I haven't been in my home for really more than a month, having been away, and I'm not complaining. This is a joy to do, but caring for a family member, and then on top of that, celebrating the Christmas holidays with many people coming in and going, um, in a home that's not my own. So there was really um, no time to even practice. And in fact, I took several instruments down, my flutes, a whistle. I took a couple of Native American flutes and my guitar with me. They never came out of their case even once. That's the bad news. The good news is I have some really fun crochet coming that I did have time to work on while I was there. Not the writing part, but the crochet part. So anyway, if you don't mind, I'm going to bump the song that I owe you guys to next Friday. I thought you would rather hear a song that's been practiced and it sounds mildly good than one that sounds really bad. So I hope you don't mind that. We're going to just defer that. And I just trust in your goodness because I know you guys are the best thing happening in the internet these days and for years, actually. Excuse me. All right. I want to go ahead and greet everybody before I get down to my exciting news. I want to say hey to Angie for being the first one in the chat today, and to Love to Craft waving back at you. And Michelle, thank you for joining us. And Margita and Barbie from the backwoods of Alaska. Stay warm, my friend. If you want to come down here, it's a balmy 35 degrees out right now. Balmy, I'm joking. But anyway, it's warmed up into the 30s. So we're at least out of the freezing zone for just a little while. We have Red Hooked in the chat, and Brad's mom, glad that you're here. Wishing us all a happy and blessed new year to all from cool and sunny Southwest Chicago suburbs. I bet you're a little chilly there too. And Michelle says it's also 35 degrees Fahrenheit where she is, windy and cloudy in Helena, Montana. Perfect weather to finish final rounds on 2 different Afghans and throws. Amen to that, my sister. And Jeannie, the Proverbs 31 lady. Hello there, my friend. So glad that you could join us. And is it Ekstrom? Says happy Epiphany. Thank you for that. And Julie says a good almost afternoon, everyone. And Deborah says, finally made it in before the beginning of the stream. Hope y'all are high and dry. It's pouring here. Yeah, we are actually up on a hill. So, yeah, the creek may flood down below, but generally speaking, it doesn't raise as high as here, which is a good thing. Um, if it ever did, we would need to build an ark because the rest of the county would be underwater. Oh, don't wish that on anybody. Anyway, and is it Hilda Hux? Good morning to you, and let's see, Tammy from Oregon, and Deborah's talking to Michelle saying that is perfect crochet weather. Yes, you don't need an excuse when it's so cold out and you can't go anywhere. And Julie from Kentucky says rain, snow mix headed to us overnight. Yep, that same system is coming our way tomorrow. So I have, what's the weather report here is rain with a high probability of crocheting and knitting. So yeah, Carol G, good morning. And Hannah, so glad that you're joining us today. She's catching a breather. I'm going to read something in a bit so you'll understand this. But Hannah was a hero this past week at helping care for family and just keeping things mildly orderly with all the people we had in the house down there. And yeah, Catherine, good morning to you. And Connie, glad that you could join us. And Dominica, so glad that you could join us. Looks like it's maybe from Italy. Love your beautiful country, my friend. And Ruth, good morning to you. And Wanda, good morning to you too, or good afternoon now. From she's joining us from a sunny day in Bahama, North Carolina. I learned to say that the right way finally after um, joining her for one of our Zoom chats. And let's see. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. She says she's happy. I'm home, sweet home. Yes, amen. Thank you for your prayers. Yeah, excuse me. Lots of traveling. I know has gone on for many of you as well. So hope everything is fine. Um, and Kelly Hart, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you're enjoying that beret. I still need to get your picture out. I promise I haven't forgotten about you. It has just been it's just been joyfully crazy this last few weeks. So I'll need to get on the stick and get that all out so people can see your lovely handiwork. Um, let's see. And we have Marie. So glad that you could join us from Charleston. And Love to Craft wants to know, did you miss the announcement? Not yet, not yet, not yet. And Brandy Smith, hello to you. Um, All right. No, haven't missed anything, guys. I'm going to get to that in just a second. I just wanted to get to the chat because that's usually what's left out. Um, yeah, Love the Craft says I'll have to rewatch the beginning. No, you won't. No, you won't. I'm going to get to it in just a second. Catherine Wilson says, glad to see everyone recovering from knee replacement surgery. Oh, yeah, yay. I hope you get better soon, Catherine. And Mary Ann says, drove to Avon, North Carolina on Monday, loving the beach. Pennsylvania is my home, and it's about to get dumped on with snow. Yeah, yeah, we may get snow here as well, although now they're saying rain. So, I mean, nobody really knows until it happens, right? You stay safe and stay inside if you can. Um, yeah, Kelly's expecting snow. And Tammy says, so glad you are safely home for the weather storm. Stay at home and crochet. I will. I hear and obey, Tammy. Will do. I got lots of writing I need to get onto as well. Um, yeah, and Hannah's saying how her youngest brother, my youngest son, and his wife, they live in Pennsylvania, and they drove home to snow everywhere. Although the roads were clear, thankfully. And they're going to be getting more, so that'll be interesting. And good morning to you, and afternoon, Lisa, and happy New Year. Yes, and she's in Connecticut. Says we are so looking at 6 to 12 inches of snow tomorrow evening through Sunday afternoon. I'm excited for the first real snowfall of the winter. You know, I am too. I really do enjoy it to a point. I really do. Um, and Shatika Wood, so glad that you are with us today. And thank you, Catherine, for filling us in about uh, your situation there. And Jane joins us from Lincolnshire, UK. Welcome. Good evening to you. Hope you're enjoying your evening meal or tea. And Phil from a cold Wyoming. Oh my goodness. I hope you're doing all right, Phil, out there on the road and about. And Alana, good morning to you as well. And Wanda Bigelow and Lisa says, won't be a problem for us. We have a whole house generator. I can't recommend them enough. I surely wish we had that. The only thing about when we lose power, I mean, we just get cold, but our neighbors have a fireplace. We know where to go if we need to. But the only bummer about losing power is we are on a well and septic. So we lose water. So I hope that we don't lose power, or if so, not for very long, because I really do like my showers. The good news is we have a double water tank. We have two big water tanks because we had to have that when we built the house many years ago, 20 years ago, actually, because we had up to 9 people living here at a time. So, and if you want a warm shower, you need to have more than one water tank. And so we have at least have water until the tanks drain. So it's not like we're going to be lacking drinking water. It's just the showering and the toilets. We have to be careful. I know this is too much information, but if we lose power, that's life here for us. Um, so Ruth is joining us from says, I'm in Surprise, Arizona, I guess near Phoenix, and if we get any weather, it will be rain. Supposed to get rain Sunday. We will see. Yeah. Um, yeah, Hannah's talking about to Catherine. Yeah, about yeah, that was hard. And thank you, Alana. And Beth, good to see you in the chat. She says, hello, Bonnie and Hannah from cold Cleveland. Burr. Um, well, let me go ahead and get right to it. I think I've tried to greet as many as I could. I think I've gotten through most everything. Um, Big news, if you are one of my watch subscribers, you already know this because I sent a newsletter out specifically just to the watch subscribers. Um, I have good news and I have bad news about the beginning knitting for crocheters via Zoom. These were going to be the live classes that I'm planning on teaching, and I am planning on teaching. The bad news, okay, and this is after really literally weeks of conferring with my husband and my son and doing a lot of online research. And as you probably know, the tax laws, and to abide by them lawfully with 100% integrity, both nationally and internationally, is not an easy feat. And it's not something that we are skilled in as far as our knowledge base, even with the research. And I know there are ways to do it. It's just, we're just not prepared emotionally and mentally to deal with the added workload it would provide for us, and having to make sure everybody gets their piece of the action, of the money, of the income that I earn. I know it sounds kind of crazy to even talk about this now, but so the bad news is in an effort to stay out of jail tax, both nationally and internationally, I won't be selling classes for my Zoom crochet or knit classes, period. Not right now. That may change in the future, but that's the bad news. The good news is, and I hope you see this as really good news, is that I'm going to be offering these as an added value item to my watch channel subscribers. And they have all been contacted. If you are a watch subscriber, I check your email, check your spam box if you haven't gotten this yet, because it could have been delegated to the spam box. It was coming from MailChimp, my newsletter. But everybody has been contacted, and signups are in progress, and they will end. Signups will end Monday at noon Eastern time. Okay. So you got that? The cutoff is noon Eastern time on Monday. That's this coming Monday, the 8th. Now, that evening, I'm going to be sending out the Zoom links to those who have signed up for the classes. So, and the classes, I'm keeping the same dates. I wanted to try to keep my word as much as possible. So that will be January 9th and 16th for one class, which is 2 sessions, both the teaching session and a follow-up session. And so that will be in the daytime, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern time. Make note of the time zone, because if you try to go on 2 to 4 Pacific time, you'll be late. You will have missed the class. Okay. The second class, which I guess is 2 sessions, will be January 11th and 18th. This is going to be at 7 to 9 p.m. And that's in the evening for me. It might not be in for you if you're in a different time zone, but again, Eastern time zone. Okay. So what do you do? Suppose you want to take the class, but you're not a watch subscriber. Well, it's actually easy. You can become a watch subscriber. It's not as expensive as it would have been paying for the class. I was initially going to be charging $55 for the Zoom class. Outside, people who were not watch subscribers, I was going to charge 45 for watch subscribers, but we decided we're going to give this it's on a trial basis. So we're going to see how this goes, see if we can meet the need, the desire out there for this. So what do you do? Well, you're going to have to subscribe to the channel. I can't work around that. I tried to work around it, like I just explained, but I would have to hire an international accountant who understands VAT taxes and all of that. And honestly, that's why currently well, for years I have been with the Lovecraft store as the kind of the second party involved here because they manage all the complicated VAT tax and state taxes and all of that, and they keep me out of jail basically. So and they charge me a fee for doing that for me, which I am happy to pay. And the same with Etsy. I know I'm digressing here, but I have seen so many crafters fussing about what Etsy charges, but Etsy has a lot of expenses to do what they do, and they do serve us well. Um, I can't defend everything they stand for, but as far as their service to me, as a seller of my work, it is a good thing for me, because they pay the VAT taxes and they do all that other stuff. So anyway, if you have any other questions about this, you can contact me, bonniebay@me.com. And Hannah just sent me sent me something here. Hold on, Hannah. I need to get this opened up so I can read your messages, honey. Um, okay. Okay, Kelly wants to know if I'm going to be doing Zoom on YouTube. No, the Zoom interaction, Kelly, I have to reserve that only for my watch subscribers. They are paying a fee each month. And I just felt like that would give an additional benefit to being a subscriber. For those of you who've never heard of this, I have a watch channel. There's a link in the video description below. It is $69.50 a month, which is just a little bit more than what I was gonna charge for just one class, honestly. Um, and or if you just wanna do it on a month by month basis, it's $6.95 per month, which is, probably less than what most of you or some of you spend going through the Starbucks drive-through. I'm not a coffee drinker, but I know many, many are, and I'm fine with that. My family loves that hot beverage. I just don't. It's not a judgment or anything. It's just a preference. But just to say that the price of the subscription is really less than one trip to anything fast food that you might do in a month. And last year in 2023, the cumulative cost of the complementary patterns, these are the patterns that I sell outside of my watch channel. The cumulative cost was $131.76. So, and also another added benefit is your viewing habits and your personal information are not being viewed and are not being shared. So I don't I don't share your information with anybody outside. And that goes for my newsletter too. So anyway, so that is the big news. I didn't want to keep you all waiting and waiting and waiting on that. I know there are going to be questions. If you have questions, you can contact me, bonniebay@me.com, and I can try to help you with that. I do have the class is about both sessions are about half full at this point. So there is still room to grow. If I get an overwhelming response from my subscribers where I need to add an additional class, I will consider doing that. But right now, I'm going to try to fill the classes as best I can. And once I reach 20 in each class, then I'll consider that. But until then, and we're not really even halfway to that point yet. We're getting there. But I just want to do this on a trial basis. And each month, I'm going to try to work to bring another class to teach in the Zoom format for my watch subscribers. And we're just going to go month by month and we're going to see how it goes. I can't promise you I'll do this every single month. The months that I travel a lot to conferences, that's assuming my classes get picked up by conferences. I will obviously be a little busier, but I'm going to still see what we can do, see what time will allow. And if you can want to have patience and work with me on that. I think this is something I'm personally very excited about. I have peace about this. So now it's just a matter of seeing how it fleshes out, seeing how many are really interested in the classes. I know not everybody's going to be, but anyway, so send your questions to me and I'll see what I can do. Let's go ahead and get back. I'm going to go ahead and get back to the chat. for just a little bit, and then I want to read you something really funny that I think is really funny from my daughter Hannah. Um, all right, lots of comments came in there. Do, 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 do. Okay, I think I'm catching up. Catching up. Hold on, hold on, hold on. Hannah's going to be sending me a question. Oh dear, Phil says I've been sick with the cold flu this past week. Oh, that's not good. I hope you get better, Phil. And take your rest while you can too. Um, and it's good to see Ruth in the chat. And oh, thank you, Tammy. She says I love the pink blouse you made. Thank you. She's referring to the My Sweet Sloppy Sweater. I put a picture, reluctantly, but a picture of me wearing this on Instagram and on Facebook yesterday. It's getting a lot of attention. And I did put in the video description the link of the yarn that I used. I used this 100% rayon fingering weight yarn. It's by a company called Interlacements yarns.com. And I have the link in the video description. It's 100% rayon, if I haven't already said that. And it creates this really beautiful, shiny, has a little bit of a sheen. I mean, it's not like super radiant, but it's a little bit of a sheen to it, and very drapey, very slinky. And the top can fit really anybody from a small or medium-ish, small medium to 2X in the size that I show, because it's made to be a big sloppy sweater and it will just drape to your size. So even if you're a medium, it's not going to make you look like a 2X. Not that that's a problem, but it will shape to your body size. And if you are a 2X, I believe this will still fit you comfortably. I am including how to bump up the pattern for sizes 3X to 5X, or really you can even go beyond that just by adding multiples of 4 to the chain and following the directions in the written pattern and in the video that's coming. And again, this will be a complimentary pattern for the watch channel. It will be a pattern for sale in my Love Crafts and probably in my Etsy store as well. Oh, thank you, Phil. He says he likes that sweater too. Yeah, okay. I know you probably don't need to know this, but I'm not a real big leggings kind of person, but I did buy a couple of pair to wear with this sweater, and I did wear them in the video. And I will say that it really did make me look like I lost about 10 pounds, just because I didn't have my bulky mom jeans on, which are quite comfortable, that I'm wearing right now. But with the leggings, what I like about the trick with leggings when you're over the age of 50 and 60, and really any age, I think, should pay a little bit of attention to modesty. And what's nice about this sweater is that you are covered. You are covered in the back, you are covered in the front. And so, yeah, you can see the leggings, but you don't see much else. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's a modest way to wear leggings and kind of look, maybe try to feel a little bit younger. I felt probably 10 years younger wearing them, but anyway, so that is going to be coming by hopefully by the end of January. So I'm hoping to roll that out. I've been talking about it a lot. I've got another sweater to finish up the writing that I've shown you already with the braided yoke. Got so much that I'm working on. I have a throw right down here. I'm not going to show it to you yet. I'm going to hold on. But I finished my Easter throw. It's an Easter themed throw, but I believe you can crochet it any time of the year. I am really excited about this one. Have a lot of meaning built into it. So I'm really looking forward to showing that to you all as I get closer. I want to get it written and almost ready to go before I start promoting anything, because I don't want you all to have to wait too long. Whew, whew. Need to take a breath. All right. So, oh, thank you, Ruth. I think she says, I don't blame you. I guess talking about staying at a tax jail. Yeah, I really don't. I really don't want to go to jail. It's not worth it. I kind of joke about that, but honestly, the way the tax laws have changed for 2024, if you are a crafter, you need to be very careful with the 1099s this year. It used to be you didn't have to file one if your income was under 20,000. Now it's the threshold is 600. So they're coming after us. So we need to be really careful. And I know most of you are not trying to do anything wrong. I don't even have it on my in my thoughts to do something wrong in regards to money or anything like that. I want to be above reproach, but it's getting so tricky out there. I just don't even want to risk, even the look of not doing something right. So I would rather give something anyway, enough of that, enough of that. Tammy, thank you for joining us from Lyons, New York, and Ed and Maggie McAllister. Glad you can join us. And Josie, she says, I'm so excited for the knitting class. Oh wow, your videos are what took me from beginner to an advanced crocheter. Oh my goodness, that's wonderful. So I'm confident I'll finally learn to knit with you as my teacher. I hope it works. I really do. But just know that it takes time, which is why I'm doing it in two classes, one one day and then one the following week to try to, kind of wipe away the tears if there are any, if I can, and try to work that out. And Ruth Morris has a question. Is there a chart for crochet stitches that describes the stitch? I used to knit and know those stitches, but crochet, not so much. Um, for okay, crochet chart. I have made my own style of these for some of my designs, but they don't look like the traditional ones that have like a T. A long T is often, I think, a I think a double crochet, and they have one with a T with marks on it here and here. Very basic kind of, I probably am not getting that totally right. I really don't enjoy those. Those work really well for filet crochet and lace crochet, where the stitches are separated and in beautiful arrangements. A lot of the stitch work I do has cables crossing in the front, cables crossing in the back, and doing all sorts of crazy things. And when you make stitch charts that are traditional with those symbols, it becomes a chaotic mess. People have criticized my patterns, and rightly so. It's a free country here in the US. You can criticize whatever, because I don't use that standard, kinds of notation. And I've tried to explain to some, the reason I don't is because I can't even read it myself, because telling which stitches are on top or behind, it's just better to understand the technique and then have something to represent that technique. And a lot of knitting does just that. They have symbols that represent a certain technique. So I thought that really works better for me. So there are a couple of my designs. The I can't think of the names right now, but there are a couple that are out there where I have tried to use my primitive style notation. But you should be able to just do a quick Google search and you can find the notation for like lace, crochet lace, and stuff like that. And if you're making a doily, it's a great resource to use those stitch diagrams. I'm not against stitch diagrams. I'm just not in favor of them when everything is all crossed up and hot and weaving in and out, because they just don't work, in my opinion, for that. I hope that answers your question. And Kelly Hart wants to know, is that pattern that you're wearing, is it candied pecan shawl? Okay, now the one that I'm wearing, this actually, thanks for asking about it. This is an asymmetrical, let me put this down a little better. There you go. This is an asymmetrically crocheted shawl or a scarf. And this is the Eileen scarf that was released a couple years ago. And I named this one in honor or in memory of my late mom, because her middle name was Eileen. Okay. So let's see. And yeah, so I hope I answered the question, Kelly. I'm not going to be doing Zoom on YouTube. I will be doing lives every Friday, but I'm not going to be doing live instruction with Zoom. Yeah. That's going to be that's going to be delegated to my watch subscribers only. Um, And Phil says regarding his cold, good meds, yes. I just wish the cough would take a vacation permanently. Yeah. Yeah, Phil, I understand earlier this or last year, I think I had a second round of COVID and I couldn't talk for a month. I hope that's not going to be the case with you. The good news is it does go away eventually, but it can be rather frustrating. I hope you get past that soon. And Ed and Maggie McAllister says, I'm excited for the knitting classes too. Yes, I got you all signed up and ready to go. I'm recognizing some of these names because I was up till like 11:15 last night, trying to email back and forth and let people know that they were good to go. Um, yeah, and Hannah says, yeah, that talking to Phil, the cough stays with you even if you're not contagious anymore. Blech. Yeah. And Carol, good to have you with us in Oregon. And oh, wow, Kelly's crocheting the Cumulus cabled beret hat. Cool. Very cool. Well, let me go ahead. Let's see, lots of questions here. Let me just take a quick look again. Um, Thank you, Ruth, for this comment. That's interesting. She says um, that she says 68 million people in the US have learned from a tax lawyer that taxes are not legal according to the Constitution. I found that interesting. Yeah, I may have to look into that, but there's not a whole lot that I can do about it. I mean, I could try to fight that, on principle, Ruth, but I think that would end up with us or with me wearing orange and having my meals brought to me in a cage. So I really am not. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I wish I could go back and say, you know what? I'll pay that stamp tax and I'll pay that whatever the other tax was that England insisted, the king insisted on us paying. If you just don't give us any more, but we have since over history learned the multiplication principle of what we can tax, and goodness, how it's just nuts. Um, but I digress. That's another conversation that I really know so little about anymore. I'm thankful that I'm a crocheter and not a tax lawyer. I will just say that I respect what you do. I wouldn't want to do that all day for any amounts of money in the world. Um, Yeah, looks like Kelly has some sick friends too who are catching this cold, whatever. Um, yeah, and thanks again for your kind comment, Phil, about the sweater. And Michelle M says, I have decided I am using part of my tax return to subscribe to the Watch channel. I've been wanting to subscribe since day one. Oh, thank you, Michelle. And let me just say another thing about that. I honestly, and this is not a sales pitch to try to trick you guys into signing up for this. Honestly, I would probably do better if I could sell them, but again, I want to stay within legal ramifications. And after, some thought and some prayer and counseling with my husband and my son who know a lot more than I do and are helping me to organize and run the Watch channel, they agreed that it was probably the best thing to do. So we'll see. Again, we're in a testing environment, and we'll see how this goes this next month. And then if it goes well, and if the people who are wanting to do this are able to participate, and if it ends up being I get 300 people that want to do it, obviously, doing it in increments of 20, I would not be able to do that. In that case, I might have to bump it up to bigger classes, which I could do. It just would mean not as personal interaction, and I really want to limit it. But I'm just again, this is a test. We're just going to see how this goes. Um, but thank you, Michelle, for being willing to support us in that way. And excuse me. And Michelle said, I just minimized the video to go see the pink top photo. Looks amazing and an awesome color. Oh, thank you, Michelle. And let me say something else about the color. Um, the color is really nice. But if you go to their website, and this is not an affiliate account, I don't have any kind of a kickback setup or anything with Interlacements. It's just I love what they do, and I want you to know about it. It's just kind of that kind of a relationship. They did donate the yarn to me to make this project, but we're not money is not being exchanged or anything for this. I just want you to see their yarn. Check out their website, and you can see the very many different colors of their yarn. They have variegated, and the greens and the blues and the pinks, and they have other vibrant, the yellows, the oranges, but they're just gorgeous. The way the rayon takes the dye and the way they do it, it's just astounding. I think I took over an hour to pick out the color I wanted because they had so, and plus I was visiting with them as well, getting to know them. A really fine couple out west, who own the company. But yeah, it's stunning kinds of yarn. You just don't find this at the big box stores, and yeah, you just don't find this in a regular big stores. Um, Looks like Wanda and Tammy are gonna meet up sometime. That would be so cool. Uh, and let's see. And Joy says the new sweater looks so comfy. I wear leggings at home to be comfortable, and the new pattern looks perfect for around the house crafting. Oh yeah, I mean definitely. Or even maybe a trip to the store, I probably wouldn't wear it to church. I mean, that's just that just wouldn't be my style. But just out and about, maybe walking around, doing exercise. I don't even want to. I don't want to sweat in it though. I don't want to have to wash it too much. But yeah, around the house, being comfortable. I think it would be perfect for that. And casual gatherings, I think would be fine. Um, and Jacqueline says she was just checking in, going to miss the live. Well, we're going to miss you, Jacqueline. Um, Thank you for praying for Hannah. I really appreciate that. And yes, Kelly, that is a poncho behind me. That's the Inishman poncho that's available on the Lovecrafts and I think it's in my Etsy store as well, but it's definitely in a Lovecraft store. You can find out where it is if you just go to my webpage, my website, bonnybay.com, and you look on patterns, and I have a lot of the single patterns that are there. And I also have a section for the books, which is separate, but you can take a look at that and find where that is. And thank you again, Hannah, for all that you're doing. And Shahina, I'm so sorry you're not doing well. I hope you get better, my friend. And Ruth, yeah, she says she could do a Google search and that would help. All right. Um, yeah, I don't know about the buffering, Kelly. There could be a lot of, we could be from your end, our end, who knows. We've got pretty fast internet here as long as it's working. So, all right, well, let me go ahead. I wanted to read you something. I give credit to my daughter, Hannah. Um, okay, thanks, Hannah. Giving credit for Hannah. This is from somebody on Instagram. Now, I'm not familiar with this person. Okay, so if they turned out to be a beast, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. But what she wrote in this post was really funny. I think she's probably a really fun gal. The name of her site on Instagram is Moms of Bigs, and let me look show you Moms of Bigs, and it's by Melissa Fenton, who's the writer of this. And she calls herself a 4 boys mother. Okay. And hers is more centered on these comments are more centered on college kids coming home for the holiday break. And I mean, let me just say that before I read this, I can so relate to what she wrote because I'm a mom of 5 kids, 3 boys, 2 girls, and in this case, 3 are married. So, and one of my children brought a significant friend over, which she's wonderful. And I can fill you in more. We'll see how things go. But wonderful, wonderful lady who also happens to knit and she wants to learn to crochet. So we're going to fix that very soon. So we had 9 adult children, children and spouses, plus 2 babies, plus myself, my husband, my mother-in-law, whose home it is, and then we're also my brother-in-law, his wife, his daughter, her husband, and 2 children. So that's 6 other people. And it was kind of overlapping a little bit, but not a lot. So we had anywhere from 13 to to 19 people in the house at the same time. Okay, so this mom of bigs writes 10 reasons I'm ready for the college kids to go back to school. Number one, if I have to go to the grocery store again today, I'm just going to go ahead and sleep in my car so I'll be ready for tomorrow's trip. Anybody out there with big families gather and relate to any of these? Number two, the washing machine is in a total state of shock. Yeah, ours was too. Number three, the dishwasher has joined it. Number four, I had forgotten about the 40-minute showers 3 times a day. Number five, I just used a Christmas cocktail napkin to dry off from my 12-second cold water shower because where the heck are all the towels? And as a testimony, Hannah and I both, I think, oversaw probably 2 or 3 loads that were just towels. And that's to say nothing of the sheets. We actually stayed an extra day after everybody left so that we could do the linen and I could help, Hannah and I and my husband actually helped put the clean linens on all the beds anyway. And she says, number six, why is everyone needing a fourth dinner at 1 a.m.? Oh my goodness, go to bed already. Also, I live with bats now. And number seven, having someone ask you, what's for breakfast? Try that one again. Having someone ask you, what's for breakfast? After you've already been up and awake for 8 hours can really kill your spirit after a couple of weeks. And I won't read the next thing she said because anyway, but she was a little edgy on that. And number eight, I just want to watch a regular TV show, not some random stranger on YouTube. Okay. I don't know. I think watching the YouTube is kind of nice, don't you? Anyway, and number nine, gas money. You seriously need more gas money? Well, thankfully, our kids are adults and they're past the college age. And they work and they have their own gas money. So that's nice. And number 10, so I can remember how much I love them. Okay. So I can remember how much I love them and then start missing them again. Yeah, that was kind of sweet. So I do miss my kids. I miss them a lot. I miss them now, but boy, we're really blessed with just really, really great time and just lots of time to hold and squeeze those little babies. I have, the 2 grandsons, got to spend a lot of just really quality time with them and quantity time, which is really, really good. So I had a really, really blessed time with that. I just wanted to read that to you. I just thought that was hilarious. When Hannah sent it to me, I was dying reading it the first time. So anyway, okay, so coming on Monday, I have the Rainbow Baby Ripple Baby Blanket. It's your standard ripple blanket. It's but with the tiny ripple. It's just 3 stitches up and 3 stitches down. 3 stitches up, 3 stitches in the next space, 3 stitches down, skip 2, 3 up or something like that. It's very small ripple. And I used a whole bunch of colors beyond the Roy G. Biv rainbow. I added many other shades and colors. The yarn came from Hobby Lobby, and it's basically their basic yarn. And I just got the little tiny balls of samplers of all the colors. So we just got one of everything, and we put them together. And as we've talked about before, the rainbow baby concept is the idea of a baby. It's a baby that's the blessing born after a miscarriage was experienced. And our little guy Rex is just that. He's a very special rainbow baby. And I put a picture of him in my newsletter. It's going to also be in the video and in the written pattern. But he's definitely an answer to much prayer. And I got to thinking about it the other day, and I just thought, I'm a rainbow baby too, because my mom had 4 miscarriages before I was born, which probably explains why they spoiled me rotten for a time. They had a 12-year wait after they became married from all the miscarriages, and then somehow I came along, and so my mom, suffered an awful lot with that. But, the concept of this blanket is just to celebrate, the blessing, um, uh, and all. So anyway, so that's coming. It's an easy beginner pattern. The only trick is you do have to count, but the good news is it's a small number. It's maybe you need to, maybe if you can count to 3 or 4, you've got this. And it's one of those numbers that's small enough that you can kind of visually see, rather than, let's say, 15 or 16, having to count that number every single time. And I have patterns like that with ripples, but this one is just much more visual, much easier. If you've ever attempted uh, the ripple in the past and you just, you know, struggled with it, this might be one you could do. And of course, with the color and with the texture, by working in the back loop only, it gives the baby a lot to study and to focus on. It's a very good thing for their brain development and everything. So that is coming on Monday. And I should mention that it was a collaboration with my daughter Becky. So both of us worked on that, the idea of executing the design and so forth. Um, okay, and somebody, it looks like somebody needs a link for the watch channel. If you look at the video description, if you don't know how to open up the full video description, let me see if I can. Okay, I can't do it while I'm broadcasting, but usually it'll have some information and it'll have the word more, MORE. If you click on more, and that opens up a box with a lot of links and things. I do have a lot of links in there that you might be interested in. So things that I talk about during the broadcast and beyond, other links that might be helpful to you. But it should be right up near the top. It just says watch channel. Watch, and I'll just spell it out for you. It's watch, WATCH .bonniebaycrochet.com, and that'll get you there. And if you want, you can sign up for a subscription right there. Or if you just want to peruse the page to see what else is there, you can. And it's not just about the Zoom classes. I mean, that's just a new added perk, but there are a lot of patterns you can download when you're a member. And again, your viewing on that is ad free, it's spam free. You're not going to have any, you're not going to ever find a pop up. If you do, you let me know, because I'm not the one doing that. There won't be. I promise you. We don't engage advertisement company to do that to our sites on purpose. We could have added revenue if we did, but we don't want that, because we don't enjoy that ourselves when we're viewing, to be interrupted. And so we want it to be just a straight view of the content for our followers. And if you ever have any questions, you can always contact me directly. I will get back to you, and I will be the one doing it, not somebody else. We are not huge. We're not very big. We have a few people that help me: Hannah, my husband, my son Caleb. My daughter-in-law is actually going to start helping me very soon with some of my social media. But beyond that, I mean, we're all family, and it's we all work on this together. All right. So I think I've just about covered everything that I had planned to talk about today. Let me see if there are any other questions here. Oh, thank you, Deborah. She said that's a sweet concept for a baby blanket. Yes. And yeah, it was hard. It was a hard season, but I was reading, I don't have the book in front of me right now, but I was reading out of the Beside Still Waters book by Spurgeon. And the link for that book is, I just keep it in my video description below, because it's such a great devotional book. He was just talking too about how, we do experience hardship and difficulties and loss. And a lot of times, that's allowed by God to make us stronger, to make us better, even better people. And, sometimes not getting what we want when we want it, brings us back a few steps. And sometimes it's just the kind discipline of a heavenly Father. And it's never easy to walk through. But I will say that it does make you more compassionate to others who suffer as well, who have limitations. So, yeah, we don't understand all of that. I'm not saying that pain and death is good. I'm not saying that at all. But I am saying that sometimes that's what it takes to bring us to who we need to be. unfortunately. But anyway, it's a total mystery. I'm not going to get into all how that all works up. But anyway, um, and Carol says, "So fun to see your grandbabies. Thank you for sharing them with us." Yeah, I was surprised. I was glad they were able to come in and they wanted to say hey for a little bit. They're such cuties. Um, and is it Michelle? I don't see the name. It says, "I made a rainbow baby blanket recently for a friend who became a grandma for the first time on Christmas Eve." Oh, that's wonderful. And Love to Craft says, "It's a labor of love, Hannah. My mom always opened our childhood home to many family members back in the 70s and early 80s. She's been in heaven for about 40 years." Wow. Yeah. And Hannah was a huge help. Hannah is a very, very, very much organizer, and she just would jump in and kind of push me out of the way and say, "I will get the dishes." And when you're feeding more than a dozen people, that's a lot of dishes. But I did do a lot of cooking. Did a few meals, not every single meal, but did enough meals to get really tired, especially when you're cooking in a kitchen that's not your own. So you have to kind of make do with what you got. Um, and Tammy says, "I'm a rainbow baby as well. My mom miscarried a boy before me and three boys after me. She couldn't carry boys, so I was spoiled and didn't know any different." Yeah, yeah, my mom also lost a child after me, and then my sister was born, and that was pretty much it. She used to call me the beginning and my sister the end, the beginning and the end. But yeah, yeah, not sure. We don't understand yet. There's so much mystery surrounding a lot of that. And Hannah saying, she's so proud of her sister and sister-in-law with their motherhood journey so far. Yeah, they're really good moms. Um, oh, very sweet, Hannah. That's really kind of you to say to love to craft. Even though they left a long time ago, she's still your mom, and you'll miss her so much. Yes, that is true. So many times I'll just want to share something exciting or, a victory with my mom. And it's just, I can't. She's not here. She's with the Lord. But I trust that she sees and understands. Um, and Ruth says, "I live with my daughter and family, and my 11-year-old grandson has been home for 2 weeks, and Monday can't come soon enough. I'm so ready for him to go back to school." Ah, yeah, yeah, it's kind of fun. Uh, uh, Although I just have to laugh sometimes because I honestly don't relate to that very much because I was a homeschool mom for 19 years. So we couldn't send them off anywhere. I was actually glad when school was out because then the pressure was off of me as a teacher. Then I could just have fun with the kids and not feel the pressure of marching through a bunch of academia with them and trying to motivate oftentimes the unmotivated. um, yeah. Um, And Lynn is enjoying Ruth's comment, as she ought. Oh, thank you, Deborah. I guess you're referring to the Spurgeon book, Besides Still Water. She says, "I do love that book also." Yeah, I have read it so many times, but every time I pick it up, it's like I need to hear it again and again and again. And Tammy says, "I bought that book for my oldest daughter and one for myself. Thank you for sharing it." My pleasure. It was my pastor years ago who shared that with us. And he was so fed by it spiritually during a time when his daughter almost passed away after giving birth, but she made it through, and I remember him reading from it, and I just thought I need that book. And it wasn't long after that that I lost my father, so it has been a very handy consolation to read. Um, Oh, and Hannah says, "Sorry for pushing you away." Oh, honey, push me away from those dishes anytime you want. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure you weren't overworking yourself. That's all. She says, "I have a system uh, for the dishes, and I didn't want mom to exhaust herself after doing all the cooking." Oh no, you can push me away from the dishes anytime you like, my good friend, my daughter, my sweetheart. Um, Oh, thank you, Denise. You're so sweet. And Norma says, "Happy New Year. May everyone enjoy the blessings this year." Thank you so much. Um, And Deborah says, I had 5 children that I homeschooled also. I felt the same way for the holidays. Yeah. And we always ended school early too. We didn't start till after Labor Day. No, no, no. Is that right? That's right. After Labor Day, we would start school and we ended before Memorial Day weekend. That was just, if we didn't get it in, we didn't get it in. But yeah, that's just the way we did it. Don't know if we met all the legalities of the public school system, but we have we have 5 responsible adults that are blessings to me, so I'm okay with that. But yeah, we worked hard. We worked hard, but the kids knew come the end of May, mom is going to be so spent. And we usually had like a trip then for we usually used to have a church retreat that was far from home. It was in Pennsylvania, and that was so much fun to do. And we knew that after that, there was no getting back into the rhythm of it. So we just made that our goal to finish by Memorial Day. Um, Deborah says I have 3 girls and 2 boys. Wow, I had the opposite: 2 girls and 3 boys, and alternated. Yeah. Well, Michelle says to Ruth, the kids here all went back on January 2nd. I'm sure this made many parents happy. Probably made some kids happy too. Um, yeah. And thank you guys. Oh, and Deborah says, Mom never minds to be see, Mom never minds to be pushed away from those dishes, especially after cooking. You got that right. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Hannah. You were great. Well, let me go ahead. It's we're close, and I'm actually may finish by 1 today. Yay. I tried to get to everybody. If I didn't get to you in the chat, I'm sorry. It was not a purposeful omission. It was just I missed it. I didn't mean to. But I did want to end with reading something encouraging from the scriptures. You know me. Um, One of the fun things, we have another comment. Okay, Ed Maggie McAllister says, hey, same. Homeschooled parents of 5 adult children, 3 girls and 2 boys. Very cool. And Ekstrom said, I was relieved when the school holidays started. No homework to do with tired children, just the fun stuff. Amen to that. Um, and Wanda says, schools don't go through the whole book either. All my grands have been homeschooled. Wow. Um, yeah, I mean, we actually did complete some books, but not all, and we would do as much as we could. And I think they got a pretty good education. I mean, not because of me, but by the grace of God, um, for sure. Oh, cool, Hannah. So anyway, Hannah, I'm not going to mention the date because just for security reasons, but Hannah does have a birthday in this time frame, and so we actually took her for a pre-birthday celebration, and we spent the morning at the Ripley's Aquarium in Myrtle Beach. And if you're in that area and have never seen that aquarium, it's fantastic. I mean, for if it's beautiful. And I grew up going to the Miami Sea Aquarium. I've been to Marineland in Florida, and that's many years ago. And I have seen, all the big shows and everything, but there's just something really intimate and special about this Ripley's Aquarium. I had seen things I have never ever seen up close and personal. I mean, for about 5 minutes, I was having conversation through a glass, but and I'm going to post some video on this on my watch channel for you all to see. I'm going to try to put a group of things together. But I got to see interact with the penguin. I mean, these little penguin just for whatever reason was looking at me, and I just stayed there looking at him and talking to him, and he just visited with me for at least 5 minutes. And they have these aquariums that actually go over you, so you're just surrounded by um, these sharks, and the kind that have the real long snout that looks like a saw. I saw those, got to see the underbelly of them as they go right over your head. It's amazing. And so we took Hannah there. She had been there before, but she wanted to go back. And I had never been. My husband and I had never been there. All the years going down to Myrtle Beach, more than 35 years, I'd never gone in that place. And so Between that, I got to pet some stingrays, which was, oh my gosh, an amazing experience. I could have pet jellyfish, but I passed on that. I was okay to not touch a jellyfish. I'm not real. They're fine to just look at. I don't really want to touch them. But they had all sorts of creatures, and just being able to see them swim up over you, you get to see them, you know, from every angle, was just such a majestic and a beautiful experience. And it reminded me of Psalm 8 in the scripture. So I wanted to end by reading you Psalm 8. This is in the Old Testament, and this is a psalm of David, and it reads, O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. You have set your glory above the heavens. Out of the mouth of babes and infants, you have established strength because of your foes, to still the enemy and the avenger. When I look at your heavens, the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars which you have set in place, what is man that you are mindful of him, and the Son of Man that you care for him? Yet you made him a little lower than the heavenly beings and crowned him with glory and honor. You have given him dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under his feet, all sheep and oxen, and also the beasts of the fields, the birds of the heavens, and the fish of the sea, whatever passes along the paths of the seas. O Lord, our Lord, how majestic is your name in all the earth. Again, that is Psalm number 8. Okay, I do have a question here from Deborah. She makes a good question. Where exactly is the sign up for the Zoom class? Okay, excellent question. I do have that in the newsletter that went out. All you need to do, you need to contact me personally, bonniebay@me.com, and tell me I'm a watch subscriber and I want to sign up for the class, and tell me which one you want when you do. Do you want the one on January 9th and the 16th, or do you want the one on January 11th and the 18th? So just send me an email, and I do have that information in the newsletter. Okay. Sorry, I wasn't as clear as I needed to be on that, Deborah. Lots and lots of details. Michelle says, try to interact with an octopus. They are so smart. All the Bright Creatures is a great book about them. Yeah, an octopus, I'm not real crazy about touching, but we did get to see them as well. Beautiful time at that museum. All right. And Deborah says, I love how Amy Grant sang that song. The first time I heard that psalm sung was by Keith Green back in around 1981. Yeah, beautiful song. All right. Well, I'm going to let me just make sure is everything okay. Thank you so much, Sue. So glad that you could join us. And Deborah says, "Oh, I love Keith Green." Yeah, I got to, again, all by the grace of God, I got to see him in concert in the summer of 1982, which was 3 months before the plane crash that took his life and his two sons. So yeah, I got to see one of his last concerts in the South. Pretty amazing stuff. But anyway, well, I wish you guys a wonderful week, and looking forward to the knitting class. Don't forget all about that. If you need more information, contact me or watch the beginning, first 10 minutes or so of the video, this live video where I talk about it. But I hope to see you guys here next week. God bless. Bye-bye.